Hey class, we are back for step 3 of the writing process. In step 3, we're going to be filling out our flow map, which you see here. Just a reminder of what we've started on so far, our prompt. We are writing about an activity that we use math and explaining what that activity is and how we use the math. In our first step, we created a circle map and brainstormed all of our ideas on the different activities that we use math for. And so you can see that I chose painting here in purple, and then these red ones were the runners up of what I did not choose, but I was also going to use them in my topic sentence. So in here, my topic sentence, I used what is called a funnel. I mentioned 3 different activities that I did not choose, and then I mentioned, as in the fourth one, the one that I did choose here at the bottom. It says, there are many activities in my life where I use math, such as cooking, driving, and taking care of my dogs. However, I use several different kinds of math when I am painting. I'm not in love with that topic sentence, but it is something to get me started. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, copy it over, and paste it in the top of my Multiflow app. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it fits. Okay, and then here are my 3 ideas. So these are going to move into these boxes. Okay, and then this one will move into the next box. And the last one will move here. Okay, now on yours, you're going to be putting your transitions above the boxes. And so what I might do is add another text box above and put my transition words above it. So I need something to start it. So to start with, I can use that to begin with. So I'm going to use probably going to use to begin with, comma, and that's my transition for my first paragraph. And then I'm going to need another one. So I'll move this one over here, and I already chose something. I'm just going to take this out and put it here. Also, and then I need one more box. And I can use last, or I could use most importantly. It's not really most important, it's just a different thing. Finally, I might use finally, comma. Or I could use last but not least. So all different kinds of options. You just need to have a transition word for the beginning, for the middle, and for the end. Now, under here, I need 3 different supporting details to go with my reasons. And I'm going to have to add some text boxes here. So for my first one, I'm writing about when I am choosing a piece of furniture to paint, I measure the perimeter and area. So one of the reasons I do this is because I need to know if it's going to fit in wherever I'm putting it. If I didn't measure ahead of time, the piece of furniture might be too big, or it might be too small for a given area. So I need to make sure it fits where it's going to be residing. So make sure furniture fits in its new home, wherever it's going to be. So I'm going to make that smaller. And if you need to write outside the lines because it doesn't fit, that's totally fine. I might just rearrange a little bit of this so I can make everything work for me on this piece. I'll just slide that over, move this down a little bit. Okay, and then I can put this back over there. Okay, and then I need another reason. So Another reason that I measure the perimeter and area, I need to know how much paint I'm going to need, which also goes into measuring the volume, but I'll go ahead and put something about that. So I need to know how much paint is needed. Okay. And this is, you may go back, you may end up changing ideas, you may find that another detail might be better. But this is just, you want to get all of your ideas on paper at this time, and that's what's going to help you get to your rough draft. So another reason I measure the perimeter and area, or at least I find that out, is I need to know if I'm going to be able to transport that material. So I just recently went and picked up a couple pieces of furniture that barely fit in my car. If I go pick up a piece of furniture and it's too big, then I'm not going to be able to take it home. I'll have to get a bigger moving truck to get it. So I need to know the size of it, in order to know if I'm going to be able to fit it in my car. So transportation of furniture. Okay. So those are 3 details that can go into this reason. And I might end up mentioning a story like I mentioned to you, give a for instance, give an example of what I mean by that. And that just helps make your writing more interesting. It adds a splash into your writing. So let's go ahead and move on to this next one. I need to know how much volume of paint is needed to cover a piece of furniture. Okay, so if I'm measuring the volume, I might need to know if I get a small thing of paint and my piece of furniture is this big, I'm going to have to stop halfway through painting and go get more paint. So this allows me to finish a piece of furniture without having to go back to the store. Let's see, make that shorter. So won't have to go back to store. I'm just trying to make something short here that fits. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to come up with some more ideas, and I'm getting kind of stuck right now. So I might just go ahead and go to this next one and see what else I can write. So I measure the size and shapes of lines that will be painted on a piece of furniture. So size and shapes, I might mention stripes, whether they're going to be 1 inch or 2 inches. So depending on how I want to create my writing, I may do geometric shapes, which means like triangles and squares, which I'll need to measure. There's this one, I might do different prints, like maybe a leopard print, or I might be doing zebra print. I might also do what is called harlequin print, which or houndstooth print. So either those 2 different prints. I can kind of show you what that looks like. Houndstooth print. So it's this right here. This is also a design that I might end up doing on some of the furniture, which you can see it's very intricate. I would have to make sure that I am measuring the size of this shape and duplicating that, making it over and over again in order to make sure the piece looks nice. So I'm gonna go back over here. Y'all just saw my to-do list of everything I'm trying to do in my house. So let's see here. I might be measuring different prints like houndstooth or zebra. And then I might also do geometric shapes. Okay. So I have all the different types of shapes that I might use math for. Now I just have to go back to this middle area and try to decide if I still want this to be a separate category, or maybe I want to move it into the first category if it doesn't have enough information to stand alone. Because I'm mentioning how much paint is needed, this is mentioning volume here, so I'm kind of being repetitive in that sense. So let's think for a second. I need to know how much volume of paint is needed to cover a piece of furniture, so I won't have to go back to the store. If I'm only painting, if I'm doing multiple colors of paint, I might need more of one color and less of another. So measuring the volume, knowing the volume of that will help me determine how much to buy of each paint. If I know I'm only going to be using a little bit of pink, I don't need a large volume of pink. I just need a small volume of pink. Whereas if I'm using a lot of the white, I know I'm going to have to use a large portion of the white. So this helps me know what is needed. Let you know how much paint per color. Okay. And then I might go into a for instance and mention what I just discussed here. So for instance, adding small portions of pink with larger amounts of black and white. So I might just go into a story of something that I painted that had a lot of one color but not a lot of another. I know it's kind of hard to see with that line there. I might just take that line out so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I have 3 different ideas underneath each, and the bottom is going to be our conclusion. So when I'm writing in here, so in summary, math is a necessary skill for our lives, for our lives. Sounds good. I use math daily when I use math constantly, which means all the time, constantly when I am painting and I use math constantly when I am painting, whether I am measuring a piece of furniture or paint, measuring a piece of furniture, measuring the perimeter, area, volume, or even the size of shapes. I use math constantly when I'm painting, whether I'm measuring the perimeter, area, volume, or volume. I should go back here, or volume of a piece of furniture, or the volume of paint, or even the size the size of shapes on my new creations. Okay, so once again, this is a rough draft. When I get to my final copy, I'm going to be revising it more, making it sound better. I can always improve my writing. The basic idea is to make sure you get your introduction and your conclusion. Take your 3 ideas that come from your supporting details in step 2, and then have additional details. These will be additional sentences in your paper. And this one, I could go into some more examples of when I used those shapes. I can talk about the attention to detail that I had to make in order to make the piece of furniture really pop and look good. So take this, work on your piece. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you're already on your second piece of writing, awesome. You'll follow the same process no matter what your topic is as far as filling out these thinking maps. My next lesson, I'm going to be addressing how to add additional details using Fries, and that will help you come up with some more ideas for your supporting details. All right, bye guys.